Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into some really fascinating material excerpts from Piers Anthony's Blue Adept. Now, we're not just retelling a story, we're digging into a world where science is everything. And then there's this other parallel world where magic is just, well, normal. Our mission really is to figure out how one person, Stile, manages these totally different realities. I mean, what does that do to your identity, your sense of power, even how you connect with people? When you're a surf here and a powerful magician over there, we're looking for those, surprising truths hidden in his journey.
Exactly. And what these sources show us isn't just like a fun adventure story. It's a really deep look at the self. It asks what actually defines us when everything changes. Your environment, your abilities, even your social status completely flipped between realities. We'll see how Stile struggles and his successes in both these frames really make you question assumptions about, well, what's possible and what really matters when life is split like that.
Okay, let's get into the setup then. It's incredible. 2 frames, Phase and Proton. Couldn't be more different. So first you got Phase. This is a realm just buzzing with magic. It's not superstition. It's the law of the universe there. And here, Stile is the Blue Adept, a major magician. What's interesting is physically he's not imposing, smaller than average, but his magic gives him huge power.
Right. And in Phase, science just doesn't work at all. So you get this amazing ecosystem based on magic, and it's not just background dressing, These creatures, these forces, they are the reality he has to deal with constantly. We meet unicorns like Neysa, who's really his closest companion. She can even become human. And there are vampires like Vaudleville. Get this. His son is allergic to blood.
Huh, seriously?
Seriously. It's full of werewolves, trolls, goblins, snow demons, even these secretive elves called the Mound Folk. Each one operates by its own magical rules. It forces Stile to constantly rethink natural law.
And Stile's own magic is pretty cool. It's often based on music, these catchy rhyming spells, almost performance art, though sometimes it's more about sheer willpower and careful planning. He also has this connection with the Lady Blue. She's the widow of the last Blue Adept, very traditional, also a healer. But their relationship isn't straightforward. She kind of struggles with him at first, his power, his, let's say, less traditional style. She sees him as maybe not the real adept.
It really shows how tradition can clash with new power, even for someone supernaturally gifted. Her issue isn't just his ability, it's whether he fits the role. That's a challenge she faces a lot.
Exactly. Okay, so then we flip to Proton. And wow, what a contrast. Stark, scientific, technological. Here, Stile is a serf. Basically, working class, owned, well, not owned, but employed by a citizen. And the social structure in Proton, it hits you immediately. So rigid, almost the mirror image of Phase magical chaos.
Oh, absolutely rigid. And you see it visually. The citizens have wealth, power, status. They even wear clothes as a symbol of it. Serfs, often naked, dependent on jobs with limited time allowed on the planet. The big dream for a serf is winning the annual tourney. That's their shot at becoming a citizen. It's kind of a release valve for the system, but you could argue it also reinforces the hierarchy, keeps people aiming for that prize within the system instead of changing it. Is it freedom or just another game?
That's a really good point about the tourney. Seems like a path out, but maybe it just keeps the wheels turning. Now, in Proton, Stile has this amazing companion, Sheen. She's a robot, super advanced, emotional. Her whole purpose is to guard and please him, but her loyalty and smarts go way beyond just programming. What's really startling is how much she feels. Pain, heartbreak, like when a robot double of Stile gets destroyed. It really blurs that line between AI and, well, actual feeling, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Sheen's not just hardware. She's a character with real emotional depth. She forms bonds, she suffers, and she has these self-willed machine friends helping Stile anonymously. That suggests this whole hidden network of sentience, maybe even rebellion, beneath Proton's ordered surface. He really shows that even in a cold, scientific place, connection and feeling can pop up where you least expect them.
And Stile himself, in Proton, he's a top gamesman. Plays all sorts of games, physical, mental, chance, artistic. His experiences there, often being the underdog, having this drive to beat people at their own best game.
Yeah.
It just constantly shows how adaptable and strategic he is. He's not just playing, he's always finding ways to outthink a system stacked against him.
And what ties these two worlds together, really, is the curtain, this barrier between Phase and Proton. Adepts and some advanced machines can cross it, but it's not just a simple door, it's crucial. It implies that things happening in one frame, like a death can echo, have real consequences in the other. Remember when the original Blue Adept was murdered in Phase? Stile nearly died in Proton at the same time. That shows how deeply linked they are, not just parallel, but intertwined.
So crossing isn't just physical, it's like crossing a reality boundary with real stakes.
Yeah, and he even needs a robot double in Proton just to cover for him when he's in phase. Think about the complexity, the deception needed to keep that up. Without that double, people would notice he's gone for, days or weeks. We also see these weird parallelisms, like the Lady Blue has a small horn and it mirrors a protonite nugget a citizen wears, or the Unolympics in phase doing a similar job to the Proton Tourney letting off steam for the less powerful. Feels like more than coincidence. Oh, they're definitely not coincidences. They hint at some underlying structure connecting the frames, maybe some kind of inevitable pattern when there's imbalance. Which brings up that big question. How does identity even work when you live like this? Stile isn't just acting differently in each place. What he learns in one world directly impacts how he acts, how he feels in the other. His magic in phase seems connected to his game skills in Proton. So, is he ever really just one person? Or are these two distinct identities sharing a body?
That's heavy. Does he ever get to just be Stile? And this leads right into the main conflict, because it gets really intense. Stile isn't just balancing lives, he's being hunted in both worlds. It all kicks off with the murder of the original Blue Adept, Stile's alternate self. And that sets off attempt after attempt on Stile's life.
Yeah, we find out the villain is the Red Adept. She's female, she can also cross frames, and she desperately wants power and citizenship. She killed the first Blue Adept, and she attacks Stile using everything from, lasers during a horse race in Proton to these really elaborate traps involving people he cares about, like Bluette, the Lady Blue's double, and Stile's friend, Hulk. Her methods are pretty inventive, gotta give her that.
And the Oracle in phase throws in that cryptic line, "Blue will destroy Red." Sounds like a classic prophecy, right? Almost pushing them into conflict. Makes you wonder how much is destiny and how much is just suggestion. Is Stile just a pawn here?
It's a great setup for that exact question. It forces everyone, including Stile, to think about what prophecy even means. The way Red sets her traps, it suggests someone imaginative, clever, not just brute force, not a machine, someone operating across frames. Her motives seem tied to getting citizenship, suggesting she's probably a high-level serf trying to climb the ladder, which adds another layer to her quest for power. It's personal ambition mixed with systemic pressure.
Stile's journey is marked by these key moments, these encounters that really push him, like chasing down the Oracle's advice, borrow the platinum flute that leads him to the Moundfolk, the elves. And this flute, wow, made of platinum, it makes him immune to magic negation, boosts his spells, especially music ones, and it can turn into different weapons, a sword, pike, axe, shield, bow. What does getting this mean for him?
It's way more than just a powerful tool. It's about trust, about destiny. The Moundfolk are super reluctant. They think only the foreordained should wield it, and its appearance means big trouble for Phaze. But Stile's honesty, his promise not to misuse it, he even says something like, someone like me shouldn't have this kind of power that convinces them. It's his integrity, his humility that earns him the flute, not just raw magical potential.
And he uses it right away against a dragon. Learns the hard way, you don't just chop up worm-like creatures, you get two instead. Talk about a quick lesson. Then at the Olympics, the creature competition, he uses the flute as an oboe, shows its flexibility, his own musical skill, earns respect from adepts and animals. Plus, he faces the herd stallion, this powerful shape-shifting unicorn, and tries to win without shaming him. Again, speaks volumes about his character.
It really does. It shows his whole approach to power. He uses strength to earn respect, maybe even cooperation, not just to dominate. He's not just a powerful adept. He's acting like a leader who gets the nuances of this magical world.
Meanwhile, back in Proton, his tourney games are just as gripping, always showing that adaptability, that unconventional thinking. Like outsmarting a citizen, rifleman, in football with a surprise punt on first down, or debating geometry of the West Pole with an alien named No in mathematical riddles. Even in a maze game against Hela, he wins by using her own trail against her. He really thrives as the underdog using his wits.
Exactly. He doesn't just play the game. He often changes how it's played. But maybe one of the most telling moments is the harmonica duet with Cliff. Clef's technically perfect, a master musician. But Stile, he connects with the audience emotionally. And here's the twist. Stile wins. Not because he's technically better, but because the judges see his cooperative expertise. They see how he lifts Clef's performance, helps Clef play with real feeling, helps him fly. It's profound, really. About music, collaboration, not just being the best soloist.
That's a huge takeaway, right? It's not about individual brilliance alone, but about making the whole better. And then the dance game against the Red Adept herself. Stile hates the idea of romantic contact with his enemy, but the game forces them into a love story. Red tries to foul him, bites his ear, but Stile flips it. He takes the romantic lead, forces her to play the part of the princess. She breaks character, gets violent, and boom, disqualified.
It's strategic, yeah, but also kind of
Right.
artistically defiant against her brutality. Absolutely. He wouldn't be constrained by the rules or her actions. He led with feeling, forced her to face her own lack of it. But underlying all this is Stile's quest for vengeance. His friend Hulk is murdered by Red in a trap meant for him. That loss is huge. It solidifies Stile's vow to make an end of her. It becomes personal, visceral. He hunts her across both frames relentlessly after that. The grief fuels him.
That makes total sense. It changes everything for him. Loss makes it real. And through all this darkness, we see him grow emotionally, especially with Sheen. After she's terribly damaged, saving him like body crushed, parts torn off, Stile finally admits his love for her, whispers, "I do love you, Sheen, in my fashion." And then, using his phase magic, he heals her, a machine. He bridges magic and science for her. It's extraordinary.
It's more than healing, it's symbolic. It's him uniting the two frames within himself, through love and empathy, using magic from one reality to save a being from the other. That proves connection can transcend even the basic laws of these worlds. It's a huge moment for Stile, figuring out who he is between these realities.
So the final showdown with Red. Stile uses Sheen's tech expertise in Proton to find her hidden bunker. He exposes her last trap, a basilisk amulet bullet. Nasty stuff. But instead of killing her, he exiles her. That's his interpretation of Blue will destroy Red. Not murder, but destroying her power, her place.
It's a subtle but really important choice. It fits his character perfectly. He refuses to become a killer. Though you could ask, after Hulk's brutal murder, is exile enough? Is it maybe too merciful? Does his integrity come at a cost to justice, in a way? It makes you think.
It does. But maybe it also shows he won without sinking to her level. He kept his integrity. And finally, after all that, Stile marries the Lady Blue, fulfills that revised prophecy. None by one, son by two. He, the second husband, provides the air phase needs. And get this, he learns from her that the West Pole, that weird concept the alien mentioned in Proton, it's a real place in Phase. Another unexpected link.
Yeah, it wraps things up beautifully, affirms those deep connections, both between the frames and in Stile's own integrated life. It suggests real understanding comes from pulling together different kinds of knowledge, magic, science, different perspectives.
So what's the big takeaway for us? Stile's journey through these worlds, it's more than just fantasy. It's a masterclass in, adaptability, sticking to your guns, and the power of connection. He went from feeling like a pawn to really shaping his own path by refusing to compromise who he was.
Right. It teaches us that real strength isn't just raw power or technical skill, it's empathy, working together, being willing to learn, even from enemies. The game of life, whether it feels magical or scientific, is often won by people who understand how different forces play together. Stile's integrity, his loyalty, his values, that's what ultimately lets him navigate and even reconcile these worlds.
His story shows that even when things seem impossible or when you feel pulled in different directions, your core values, your relationships, they can be your anchor. Healing Sheen with magic, winning the music contest through humility. He redraws the boundaries of what's possible by looking past the obvious divisions. He finds unity.
Exactly. And maybe here's something for you to chew on. If our reality is just one frame, what kind of magic or science might be humming away unnoticed in a parallel one? And how might your own life, your own games, your quests be unknowingly shaping some larger destiny that connects worlds we can't even see?